guys! Welcome to Gilbert's Bar, House of Refuge. Even though you would think from the name it's an actual bar, it's not. So let's explore! The House of Refuge at Gilbert's Bar, also known as Gilbert's Bar, House of Refuge, is a historic building located on Hutchinson Island east of Stuart, Florida. In Martin County, it is the oldest building still standing. The United States Life-Saving Service, one of the predecessor organizations of the United States Coast Guard, managed this House of Refuge, which is the last of the original dozen shipwreck life-saving stations on Florida's Atlantic coast. Its lengthy, colorful history, which dates back over 70 years, was built in 1876 to save stranded seamen. Sailors who survived disastrous shipwrecks would swim to Florida's shore in need of food and refuge.
The good news is we're not shipwrecked. Come a little closer and take a gander at where we're located. They mentioned these rocks to you. All right, take a look to your right. They're all they go right down the coast. They begin in St. Augustine, go down the coast. The other bad news is this baby is out there under the water, and that's what caused many of the shipwrecks here. Boats would, they have no, like these pleasure boats here are out for fun. Most business boats, you can see out about 3 miles right now to the horizon, and about another 8 miles further out is the Gulf Stream. That is the highway that we take. They have no business being here because it would mean destruction. However, one of them, within 24 hours, not one, but two of them crashed here. See where those people are standing out there? There is the remains of one about 100 yards going out that crashed here in 1904.
During World War II, the building also served as a watchtower for enemy submarines. It is on the National Register of Historic Places after being preserved by the Historical Society of Martin County in 1955. The House of Refuge provides a look at turn of the 20th century living along the coast.
We got a beautiful day on the beach. You see where the people are sitting on the sand a little further out there?
Yeah.
All right. You go out 200 yards into the ocean, and 20 feet down, that is where the remains of the George's Valentine. I mean, if you're going to crash, why don't you crash right next to the place that can rescue you?
Yeah.
Is there treasure inside?
Is there what?
Treasure?
No treasure. The only treasure was that mahogany wood.
Oh,
that
okay,
they were,
yeah.
that they were,
That's worth a lot of money.
that's all right. Yeah, that was that would have
Maybe we
been a
should
good
go look
treasure.
for it.
Yeah, well, it's gone now. It's in some of the early homes in Stuart out there.
How much is left of the boat?
I don't know the total.
Any ribs or anything?
I be honest with you, I've never been down there. They used to have a video of it here. I wish they still bring that back, but I think you need a tank to go dive. You know, 20 feet is a little too much for scuba.
Stay down there too long.
Yeah, too long. This area, as I told you before, you go out 12 miles, that's the Gulf Stream. That's where all traffic should be going. Now, if they're in here, they're a wreck. Now, this is the death bell for these ships that got crashed here. The bar, again, I tell you, these stones, they are out there in various depths, and you got to be careful, you know. But again, if you were a merchant ship, you were never here. Not like, you know, this is pleasure sailing. This is the only kind of ship you're going to see here. The rest, big ships, further out, and enjoying the deep. You read here Ponce de Leon, early Florida history. He already was aware of the Gulf Stream. And then a guy named Benjamin Franklin, you may have heard of him, he actually charted the Gulf Stream. What didn't he do, right? Oldest house in Martin County. Nobody was here. These houses, same construct. There were 10. This is the only one left. They would house those people who needed to be rescued. And in that 124th day, when that event occurred of 2 ships wrecking, they had 22 sailors up there and attended to them. The lower part is where he had a title called the Keeper. The Keeper and his family would live in here, and we're going to go walk through the house. Step in and move to your left. Step in closer, huh? Don't be afraid. Nobody's living here, only the ghosts. And they don't mind.
I love ghosts.
They don't, yeah, right.
They seem friendly. It's a bar, so they're probably very nice.
That's right.
Guys, this looks really, really beautiful, but it's not what you think. It's something super, super weird.
If you take a look at this rather strange encased glass right here, Victorians had a very different relationship to the dead than we do. Victorian cemetery was a place to go picnicking, put down a blanket, and commune with your ancestors. Park bench, everything. And one of the things they did was, when you get a chance, that is the hair of those who were deceased. And this was a way to memorialize their existence. You know, today we may consider it a little, but they, you know, listen, that was their way of, so this...
It is several people?
Yes, they sometimes would combine...
They were all blonde, I guess.
No, they're gray.
Yeah, gray and blonde. Wow, that is creepy.
You go from creepy to the actual event that is the most notable in this area is the George's Valentine that sank in 1904 right outside here. You can see the shipwreck. It was leaving from Pensacola, Florida. For you Floridians, you know where Pensacola is? It's on the other side of the peninsula. They were heading to Buenos Aires to deliver. Take a look at all that stuff laid there. That was mahogany, milled mahogany to be, you know, to be used for building. They got close enough to see the lights of Havana when the hurricane hit. Wow. They decided to turn to try and avoid it and come up our Atlantic coast. For 3 days, they battled the storm and it finally succumbed to it. And those rocks that I showed you out there, for those of you who came earlier, that ship hit those rocks, and when it hit those rocks, the 3 masts collapsed. They were able to rescue 7 of the sailors, the captain and 6 others. But this is the biggest story. I will point out to you the location of the ship. People go out there. It's only 20 feet deep where this, the remains of the ship are. People go out there scuba diving or diving down. The name of the And they encourage families to come because imagine in 1876, there is nothing here. They would supply from up north in Florida, Titusville, for those of you in that Floridians, they would bring in ships down the Indian River and bring supplies because until people could begin gardening here, there was nothing, you know, you couldn't survive. So here are the keepers. Would you take a look at the list? This is my little quiz for you. Can you find the name of a person repeated twice?
Johansson.
Who said that? Brilliant.
Always.
What's his first name?
Oh.
Axel.
Axel Johansson. Axel Johansson was a Norwegian, became a cabin boy at the age of 10, was on ships all his life, in his mid-20s became a captain. And he would be doing it as sailing stuff, merchant stuff up through the river and through the body of water here. One year, like many other ships, his ship was completely destroyed. Bar, house of refuge. And Don Pedro Gilbert was a pirate who roamed this area. He'd leave his boat here, set a fire out along the shore, tricking boat people to come in and check to see what was the cause of the fire. He then would go out there with his boat and steal whatever he could. That was his trick to get some whatever. There we go. One year, he found out there's a ship called the Mexican in Havana, was waiting to leave. Rumor had it, and the rumor was correct, had $20,000 of money that the captain had hid in one of the areas of the ship. Don Pedro and gang watched him leave Havana Harbor, followed it, captured it, overcame it. He tortured the captain and some of the sailors there, found where the money was, took the $20,000, had all the sailors and captain tied up. His famous quote was, "Dead cats don't meow." He not only tied them up, cut their sails, put the boat on fire, and left them, hoping that they would all be dead. How they did it, we don't know, but they managed to put the fires out. Not only put the fires out, they got the boat going, and they went back up to Boston, where their home port was there, Salem to be exact. They complained there and said to the Admiralty, "You got to do something about it. This guy is not only literally, he is figuratively killing us." All right, the word was out. There's this pirate, needs to be, something has to be done. Strangely enough, it's the British Navy who captured him on the coast of Africa. He and about 6 of his fellow pirates, they take him, they had expedition in those days, they take him back to Boston, where he becomes the star of probably the last trial for piracy in the United States. He and five of his compatriots were hanged in 1835, and Boston came out to celebrate. And they say it had the biggest crowd at that time to come out. So that's the story of Don Pedro, somebody who wasn't famous but infamous. And his name is here.
Is he the ghost that haunts the house, apparently?
There's a whole book on ghosts.
They say there's a lot of ghosts in this house, and I'm wondering...
Halloween becomes an event here. I'll show you where the entrance to, where they would take the sailors to rest upstairs, and they would have a complete evening seance up there on Halloween.
Wow!
So I mean, this house, it attracts, you have this beautiful scenery out here, and people have weddings here. They put tents up. They do it very nicely. Look at this.
It's beautiful. I love it.
It's Anyway, the house. While you're standing here, these windows are your natural air conditioning. They're both on this side of the house and on that side. Open the windows. The only problem, of course, is bugs.
In 1955, the Martin County's Historical Society was formed to protect the house and present it as a museum. Almost immediately, in addition to serving as a museum, the House of Refuge became a refuge for sea turtles. With this program being under the direction of Rose Vidham, Marine Turtle Coordinator for the Florida Department of Natural Resources from 1963 to 1987. Now sea turtles, rather than the shipwreck victims, depend on the life-saving measures of the House of Refuge. They say at night the ghosts of shipwrecked sailors walk down the beach. They also walk around the house, but you can see it's a very interesting scenery here. And it makes sense why there's so many shipwrecks. Hubert Bassey was the sixth keeper who served there from July 1890 to January 1902. He fell in love with a beautiful girl from Nashville named Susan. They got married, she moved into the house, and that is when the House of Refuge became an actually real home. More than 100 years later, beachgoers have claimed to be able to smell Mrs. Bessie's Southern specialties cooking as they pass by, even when the house is empty. Some people have reported that the residence smells like cigar or fragrant pipe smoke. They occasionally see a gleam of light through the nighttime darkness of the windows. Yet there are no cries, shrieks, rattling chains, or unexpected chilly areas. House of Refuge was a happy place. The seamen here were saved from the shipwrecks. They would eat good food, they would sing all night, drink good drinks. So there's no unhappy ghosts here, just the happy and cheerful ones. On that note, this concludes our second episode of Haunted Florida. In the next one, we are going to Palm Beach and explore several haunted places there. So stay tuned and thank you for watching. Ciao!